like to start a new series here that will continue into the future called Guitars That I Bought at NAMM. And this is entry number 1, which means next time I go to NAMM, then I have to, for work-related reasons, buy a guitar. I like this idea. This is an Iconic Tamarack Evolution in what I'm told is a Lamborghini purple. So it was this past NAMM show in January in California. Iconic typically doesn't have a booth at NAMM. What they do is they rent like a hotel suite, and if you're lucky, you get an invite. And I knew someone who knew someone, so I was among a group of people who got an invite. And I had gotten to know some of the people at Iconic previously. Like Bradford has an Iconic tele that he uses on the channel from time to time. Sorry, an Iconic Tamarack that he uses from time to time. And so, like, I was excited, and that guitar is awesome. I was excited to go check out some Iconic guitars. I honestly was not, like, it was not on my radar that I needed to buy a guitar. But I get up to the hotel suite, and they've got a ton of guitars lined up along the wall, and I am just immediately drawn to this. This was a what they call a Tamarack. It's their T-style guitar. I picked it up and I played it, and I for about 24 hours could not stop saying to anyone who would listen, this is the best feeling in playing guitar that I've ever picked up in my life. Now, some of that might have been a little, honeymoon phase, if you will. Again, I wasn't planning to buy this guitar. It was just like, this thing is unreal how well it plays and how good it feels. It kind of haunted me. That was like, the next day, I went back to Iconic, and I told Kevin there at Iconic, like, I have to have this. So we did a deal. I bought the guitar. A few days later, it gets shipped to my house, and here it is. So I've had it since January, probably February by the time I got it. So I've had it, a good 4 months, 5 months, something like that, and I love this guitar. It is so different than all the other guitars that I have. But I love everything about it. So this again is the Tamarack, the T-style from Iconic. If you go to Iconic's website, we'll link that all below, Instagram, stuff like that. They offer a handful of different body styles. They've got a T-style, an S-style guitar. They've got a JM style guitar. They've got a Les Paul style guitar. And then they have different tiers for each of those guitars. So they have what's called the vintage tier, and those can be relic. They're basically made to feel like an old 50s Fender, right? They've got the vintage modern, which has, you know, the vintage type appointments, but it's like with some more modern features built into it. And then they've got the Evolution series, which is just, this doesn't feel like any Fender that you've ever played before. So it's like the full-on modern thing. So this is one of the Evolution, and they do all kind of like cool stuff with the Evolution series. So you can get those tiers in most of their body styles. This has a thin C neck. It's not chunky. It feels like, you know, a modern sort of medium C, but just less of it there. These are Iconic's own in-house pickups. This is called a Revolution humbucker. This is a Revolution S, so it's a Strat neck with a fairly high output humbucker. It is a three-way switch, so it's just, you know, bridge, middle, neck, but you get my favorite way to split your coils is the push-push. No push-pull. I hate having to grab, I never use coil splits live anyway, because it's like, you know, sometimes there's toggle switches which are easier, but like the push-pull things where you have to pull it and then push it, I can never get my fingers, especially like if I want to go to within a song to get, you know, to get to the thing to, anyway, this is way easier. You're playing, you just punch it. We'll demonstrate how all these pickups sound here in a bit, but it makes it like, it's actually a very usable split sound. I think it's because it's such a hot output. Like I said, it's not a super high output, but it's high enough that the split sound makes it sound like a tele. It has Iconic's own branded locking tuners, which feel super solid. This is a Godo 510 bridge. Great tremolo system for an F-style guitar, I guess you will. And I love the way that the neck bolt, there's no neck plate. It's super sleek, very modern, as I said. So that's sort of the spec rundown of the guitar. If I miss anything, I'll of course subtitle it. Let's listen to what these pickups sound like, you know, just in the different pickup positions. So we're running through the pedal board here into dual TONEX pedals. For TONEX, we're running a matchless C30 on the left and a matchless Clubman on the right. So really what you're hearing here, I'll turn the compressor off. So it's just into the board, into the gig rig. The golden is going to be on to provide just a little bit of reverb. This is what it sounds like starting on the bridge. So you can hear there's quite a big variety of tone between the bridge to the neck. The bridge probably sounded a little bit dark in that scenario because I used the Empress compressor to brighten things up with a humbucker guitar. But you notice that it wasn't like a super big swing in EQ from this humbucker to this single coil neck. It's actually really usable, and depending on what you're doing, it provides a nice palette to go from a really clean, sort of like a spanky kind of a sound to a big overdriven humbucker type of a sound. It's a very, very cool setup, very useful setup in this guitar. So we'll do the same thing again, but with a little bit of overdrive. I'm going to turn the compressor on, so we'll get some brightness from that, and then we'll use the Imperium, the Gladio, so off and then on. So I mentioned earlier when I picked it up, I kept telling everyone that I was with, I'm sure they all got tired of hearing about it, how this was the best feeling and playing guitar that I've ever picked up. You know, now that I've had it for a few months, like you could say like a honeymoon, you could still say I'm sort of in a honeymoon phase with this guitar, as they say. But I've had it long enough that, you know, that new factor has sort of worn off, and I've used it in different scenarios. Like I play it a lot, like when I'm just practicing here at home, like if I'm doing scales or something like that, just playing things, because it's such a easy playing guitar. It's such a enjoyable guitar to play. I really it's one of the first things that I'll grab if I'm just going to play, you know, practice some scales or that kind of thing. The first time I played it at church, the worship leader walked by and she goes, "Brian, that is a very purple guitar." And I said, "Yes, well, purple is the color of royalty. So it's in the right place. It's where it belongs." And I enjoyed it very much playing at church. It's kind of fun to play something like this in a church, especially if you're in like a place where there's a lot of tweed sport coats showing up at my church, you know? So to bust something out like this and play a solo, it's been a lot of fun to play. And I can still say, though, it is one of maybe the best playing guitar I've played. It's definitely at the very top of the heap. Best playing guitars here that I own. I'd say like something like a PRS Custom 24, if it's set up perfect, you know, it's up there. And that, like anything Sir that I've ever played, it's in that league for sure. It's also priced in that league. If you're interested, like I said, I will link to Iconic below. Good people there. I've really enjoyed my experience, like getting to know the people at Iconic. And I've played I played a bunch of the guitars at NAMM, but they all felt like $1 million kind of. So yeah, they're not an inexpensive instrument. That's for sure. They're going to cost you like what a core PRS would cost, somewhere in that realm. But I think the playability, the quality, the attention to detail is at that level for sure. It also seems to be a favorite among people who come and hang out here at Worship Tutorials. It's always like one of the first things that people are like, "Oh, what is that? I want to play that." And I've never encountered somebody who picked this guitar up and played it and said, "Yeah, I don't like that." Everyone is like, "That thing is awesome." And some people are like, it might not be the guitar I would buy, but it's an amazing playing, feeling, and sounding guitar. I hope what you heard, these pickups sound really, really good. I've found myself searching for these Iconic Revolution pickups to potentially put into different guitars. Like that Charvel over there that I demoed a while back, I think it would work. I think these would be great pickups to put in that. So Maybe I'll send Kevin an email and say, hey, you got some pickups for sale? I don't know if they do or not, but yeah, they sound great. I have zero regrets making an impulse purchase at a NAMM show. And I hope to do it in the future. Thanks so much to Sean Price for playing some guitar in this video at a level that I could never even dream to achieve. Sean is top shelf, pro level guitar player, and I've linked to him on Instagram below. Definitely check him out there. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.